Bum, ba-da-dum, bum, 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 ba-da-dum, bum, 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 bum. So you're new to Smite. You're a little overwhelmed. You're looking at all these crazy, wacky looking Baba Yaga type characters. And you're thinking, wow, who should I pick? You know, I've never played this game. It looks cool. My friends keep bullying me into playing it. Who should I pick? Well, today I'm going to be going over the best starter gods for when you're first starting out and want to learn the game. The top 10 best gods to learn the game with, in my humble opinion. I've swindled many of friends into learning this game, and these are the characters I've found have been better at teaching them how to play, and they've been received better on their ends. Starting things off with Hades. I think Hades is probably the best beginner god you can give somebody. A lot of problems I see with people that are first starting out is they don't feel impactful. They don't feel like they're doing anything. But when you rip that Hades ult, you feel it. You'll see that you're making an impact. He's super simple. He's got a dash, a silence, a stomp, and a suck. Great all-around character. One of my favorites, one of my most played. He's fun, he's simple, very beginner friendly, very impactful, and he's actually really strong. Like some of the higher end Smite players like Fine OK think that he's S tier character. I wouldn't go that far, but I think he is very good. Another character, if you want to hit the mid lane or test out some mages, I would really recommend Baron SAMEDI. He is a lot of fun. He's basically like Hades, but without the dash. There's a lot of characters in Smite with no mobility, so Baron is a good choice for when you're trying to figure out your positioning, you know, where you should be standing, and he's also a good god for figuring out how to combo your abilities. Because with Baron, you usually want to use your 3, then your 2, then your 1, all in a row. And once you kind of figure out how to combo your abilities, you can apply that to a lot of other gods in Smite. And then his ultimate is just a big suck. You just suck people in. It's kind of like Hades' ult. Great for beginners. You feel impactful. He's a fun god. He's like fun to play. He's goofy. He jumps around. He'll really help pull you into the game. Now let's say you want to end up in the duo lane. You want to be a support. You want to help your team out. You got a buddy who's saying, hey man, I can just teach you how to play. We can just hang out in the duo lane together. And you want to be the support. May I suggest 2 characters, KUMBHAKARNA and Umoja. I'm going to start with Umoja. I think Umoja is probably the easier and better of the 2 bunch. She's so beginner friendly because for the most part, you only really have to use one ability, which is her Bouncing Bubble and Moonstrike. The aiming on it can be a little weird, but it will help you learn how to aim some of Smite's weirder abilities. She also is a great learning character for team fights and teamwork and synergies because of her 2, her Mending Waters, which is a big heal and heals and shields your allies. So you can learn how to both be aggressive and be defensive all in one, and her skill ceiling, as in what she's truly capable of, is incredibly high. So if you stick with her, you can pull off some crazy plays with her Riptide, which is a little portal that can bounce you and your friends along and make them go faster. And then it brings us to her ultimate, which is just a big, huge wave that takes up a big portion of the map. It's kind of hard to miss. Same with her 1, it's kind of hard to miss, and that makes it a good beginner Smite ability to learn and to figure out. She's a great character. If you're looking to play a Guardian, a tanky character with a lot of stuns and setup, I'd highly recommend Umoja. And if you just want incredible amounts of stuns and just obnoxious forms of crowd control, which is what keeps you in place, might I recommend KUMBHAKARNA. He's a lot more simple than Umoja. He's got a dash. He's got a little hammer down where he lifts up his hammer, smacks it down. And then he's got a sleep where he puts him to sleep. And then his ultimate, the epic uppercut, just yeets somebody up into the air. And what makes KUMBHAKARNA such a great beginner character is that when you're first starting out, you're going to die a lot. But with KUMBHAKARNA's passive, when you die, you do not actually die. You fall asleep. And you have to get hit with 6 basic attacks, stacking up to about 10. And only when you get hit by all those basic attacks will you actually die. So if you're worried about dying too much, you don't want to feed, you want a nice simple character that you can kind of figure out, learn the ropes, learn how to CC people, how to stun them, how to sleep them, KUMBHAKARNA is a great option. Alright, bringing us on to the hunters. Say, crowd control, setup, stuns, that's not your thing. You just want to do big boonking damage. You want to hit somebody and then see big flashing numbers that say 900 damage done to them. Well, that's where Rama comes in. He's probably the most huntery of the hunters and the most carry of the carries. His 1 makes him able to shoot through things. So say you're missing your abilities, someone's trying to body block him, someone's hiding behind a wall. Just turn on that 1. You can shoot through everything. Your 2 makes you just shoot a lot faster. It's called a stem, which boosts your character's abilities when you press it. So it's good. It helps you learn when you want to go in, what you should do, and you should press that and then go in. And then his 3 is just a nice little dash. You can see that line right there. You can just dash to any direction. And I found that Rama's dash is probably the most beginner friendly because a lot of the characters' dashes force you to turn your whole body around and then dash that way. But with Rama, you can be looking forward and then dash backwards while still looking forward. Just really helpful for beginners and people that are new to the game. Next up, in terms of the hunters and the carries, is actually a mage, but he fills the role quite nicely, and that is OLORUN. I think OLORUN is probably out of the whole list one of the most fun characters and one of the most impactful in terms of his ultimate. He is literally a Time Lord who can slow down time, make everybody 40% slower, and make him 30% faster. He's got a charge up Kamehameha laser. Who doesn't love that? Like if you're new to Smite and you don't know who to play, and then you try out OLORUN, you're immediately going to like it. You're going to be like, wow, I can shoot off Kamehamehas. This guy's cool. He's got a heal. You can heal yourself and allies and knock up enemies that are too close. And just like Rama, he's got an attack speed boost, but he can also summon it down on his enemies and do some damage on top of that. A great pick, probably a little harder than Rama, because Rama has the dash so he can get out of a tricky spot. OLORUN does not have that luxury, so you got to play a little better with your positioning. But he is a great character. If you're looking to try out a hunter or somebody that uses their basic attacks, I'd recommend OLORUN. Alright, next up we're going to the junglers and the assassins. The number 1 jungler I can recommend for anybody who's first starting out the game is ARACHNE. I love her, all my friends love her. We're not the best at conquest, but anytime we do and someone gets jungle, they go ARACHNE. She's got a heal, she's just got a whole bunch of damage, she can stun people, she can sling out her webs and slow them, and then anytime you're in a sticky situation, you can use your ult to get out. Great character, great for starting out the game, figuring out some melee ranged basic attack characters. You don't have to worry about her abilities too much, you can kind of just spam all 3 of them, and then hold down your attack button and just charge at the enemies, and it'll usually do the trick. A similar character in terms of playstyle is BAKASURA. I think BAKASURA is a little bit harder than ARACHNE, but possibly a little bit better. He's like ARACHNE, but instead of the spiders, he just eats minions and then can regurgitate them with his ultimate. And he does have a jump, which is very helpful. When you're first learning the game, you're usually going to put yourself in a pretty bad spot, and sometimes you got to jump out of the way. That's where the jump comes in. He's a great jungler. He's really fast, pretty easy. He can just eat a camp. So instead of taking all the time to beat it down with your attacks, you can just eat it and then keep walking. If you're looking to jungle, I would recommend definitely give BAKASURA a try and definitely give ARACHNE a try. Moving on, next down the list, we've got the solo lane and the warriors. If you're looking to play the solo lane for the first time, you never played it before, you don't really know how to play it, I would recommend Tyr. He's pretty simple, he's straightforward, he's got a nice heal, which keeps him alive in the solo lane, and he feels impactful when you play him. When you hit somebody with that truck, just go ahead and watch that one. Oh, nice and loud. You feel the impact. Look at that. You really just smash people around and show them what's what. A great character, a lot of fun, pretty simple, but he does get into the more complex feature of Smite, known as stance switching. He's got his changed stance. He's a great character for when you're first learning because he can position himself incredibly well. If you're ever in a bad spot, you got a dash to get out, a second dash to get out, and then your ultimate, you just yeet yourself across the map like such, and you can get out or get into anything. Great character, and his passive makes it so that he does not get CC'd for longer than 1 second. So if you find yourself just getting tossed around and stunned and you don't know what to do, give Tyr a try. Another great solo lane champion is SOBEK. He's got the same sort of heal style play that Tyr has, where you can just hang out in the lane, keep healing up. You know, if the enemy does some damage to you, it doesn't matter. You can just heal it back up. And he's got some great setup with his one. You dash in and then fling the person back behind you. He's naturally tanky due to his passive, and his ultimate is super big, it's hard to miss, and just overall, he's a great beginner character for when you're learning the game. Alright folks, you Smite noobs and rookies, give these gods a try. Tell me what you think. Make sure to comment below who you think's a good starter god, if I missed anybody, and if you had fun playing these characters. Hope you liked the video. Peace out.